everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda. Today I am in the garden, y'all, eating tomatoes. Best tasting tomatoes starting that are ripening right now are these Roselles. Y'all, they are so delicious. So I'm out here eating tomatoes. I'm fastening some of my tomato plants back to the trellis, which is my cattle panel. And we're just gonna be doing some work in the garden today. So y'all, let's get started. Okay, y'all, I just harvested these tomatillos and they are so sweet. I know tomatillos are supposed to be tart, but these are so sweet. So I am going to enjoy these. At first I thought they may even be a ground cherry, but you know, ground cherry is usually not this big. It's a tomatillo, and inside the tag that I have on it says tomatillo, but they are so sweet, just like a ground cherry. It has always been said that you can tell your watermelon by when the stem on the melon gets brown. Last year, we didn't get a chance to test that many of ours because before they got brown, the critters had already eaten them. And so this year, we want to keep a jump on the critters, make sure that we eat more watermelons than they do. Although this season, we haven't had any problems so far, but mainly because the melons are not very ripe and you can't smell them. I think that's when the animals come out the most, is once they start smelling the melons, then they come out and they start eating them. And from looking right now, you can see that that's the small one. That these stems are not brown. The stems are still green. Now those are some big melons back there, but the stems are green on those also. Now the end over here, the end of it is brown, but the stem where the melon is connected to the stem is still green. So I do want to test out a melon, to do a test melon to see how close, see that stem is very green, how close to ripe the melons are, so that we can have a timeline to follow once we start to actually harvesting these melons, when we can go ahead and get them before the animals get them, just in case the critters do become a big problem this season. So I think that we can going to get this one right here, and it's a nice size one. Just start the lawnmower. The stem where it's connected to the melon is still pretty green, but we may get this one. Have not decided yet, but I'm gonna think about it while I'm out here in the garden. But right now, I want to try to root some cuttings and start practicing on grafting fruit trees. But I must let you all see this banana tree today. I showed it to you yesterday, and look at it today. It is still, yeah, it is amazing. It is an amazing plant. Look at the size of these leaves now. Look at the size of the stalk. I can't even get my hand all the way around the stalk. Okay, this is the tree that I'm going to be cutting off of today. I'm going to give me some cuttings off of this peach tree. And at first glance, you might think, well, that peach tree looks pretty good. But let me show you. This is the peach tree right here. This is the tree. And at the bottom is the rootstock. This is the graft union right here. There is nothing growing above this rootstock. All of this is dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these suckers. Now I may go ahead, I think I might go ahead and graft onto one of these right here. I don't have to remove all of them since this is the rootstock. I can take another cutting. I think you really want that wood to be a little more harder than this, I think. But y'all, we're gonna be practicing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to get me a couple of, I'm gonna give me one First, I'm gonna decide which one I'm gonna use for cuttings. Which one I'm gonna try to root. Okay, I'm gonna take this one right here, and I would rather go and let's see if I can pull this with some root. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this with any roots on it. No, it didn't come out with any roots. So I'm gonna use this as a cutting. And I think, for right now, I'm just gonna use that one as a cutting, start me a cutting to make me more rootstock. And then I'm going to try to graft onto one of these pencil size. You want to use a pencil size stem. That's gonna be a small pencil right there. Okay, this one. I think this one would be our best one to use, a pencil size. And we're gonna try to graft onto these. Okay, so I went back and got me another cutting. This is what I'm gonna use as my cutting. And I'm just gonna remove some of these bottom leaves. Remove that. Okay, and this is what I'm going to use as my cutting. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bottom part. I could try to see if the leaves going to come out of that, but if some roots going to come out of that, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I just wanted to make sure that I got some little nose where the roots can come out. So I'm going to cut it right here. Try to make me a clean cut. I'm going to use something bigger. This don't want to cut. Okay, so since these cuttings can dry out really fast, I'm going ahead and doing my cuttings, but I'm sticking them into a bottle of water so they don't dry out. Keeping them moist until I can get everything together to go ahead and put them into some soil. So now with this, I'm getting a better cut. Now this is an experiment. I am not showing you how to do this. I'm basically doing this, trying to learn how to do my cuttings for my rootstock, and I will be doing some cuttings for my scion to connect to my rootstock. The scion is the tree that you're trying to graft to the rootstock, and this is what's going to be rootstock for the future. But right now, I'm going to use that rootstock that's back there because a peach tree was already growing on it, but the top of the peach tree died, so I'm going to be using that rootstock to graft a peach that I have back there that's growing really good. And so, got my rootstock cuttings, and there is one in here that I need to take out because I was not able to properly cut it. Because since I did not have any root on it, I wanted to get that part off that looks bad. See if I can get me a good cut with these. Y'all, it's good to invest in some good pruner shears, especially if you plan on doing some grafting and starting to do cuttings. Because you want to have a good sharp pair of pruners so that you can get a good cut. Okay, so now I have some rooting powder I'm going to be using. That's what I'm going to put on the end of my rootstock cuttings so that I can root them. I decided I'm going to put mine into these bottles. These are some water bottles. I just cut some drain holes in them and cut them almost in half, leaving a hinge. And I'm going to leave the lid off. I'm going to use these as like a tiny little greenhouse so that my cuttings will stay moist in case I don't always get back out here to water them like I should. And then I am going to go ahead and put some potting mix in here. Just going to use some regular potting mix you can look and you can do your research and find out all the different types of things that you can put in here. I've heard where sand is put in here. I heard people making a mix of peat and different other things like peat and perlite. But I'm just going to use some regular potting mix that I have over here that usually does well for me. It's really good with my elderberry cuttings, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use them. And so I have 4 bottles, and I made 4, I got 4 cuttings. So I'll go ahead and get my potting mix. First thing I'm going to do is moisten my soil, so I'll have that already done. You can moisten your soil before you put it in your containers. That will help out. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this rooting powder. And I just got one of the caps that came off my bottles, my water bottle. And I'm just going to put a little in here. It's only going to take a small amount, so you want to go ahead and pour it in something so that you don't have to dip your cutting. You don't have to dip your cuttings into your container. And then you don't want to have to pour this back in here. I got a small amount of the rooting compound. Next, I'm going to take one of these here. I made an extra piece that I'm going to be using because I got 4 cuttings, and this is an extra cutting that I'm going to use to go ahead and make a hole. I'm going to make a hole in the center of my containers. When I put the rooting compound on these cuttings, I won't have to stick it in here and then knock out my powder off. So now I'm going to roll my powder into this rooting compound. I already got a hole made, so I just stick it in here and then push the soil back in around it. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of them. I'll just take my next cutting, dip it into my rooting compound. I already got a hole in here. And then push it in here. Push the soil back around the cutting. Same thing with my next cutting. And my ends are already moistened, and that's helping my root compound to stick. Put my cutting into the hole without disturbing that powder too much. Okay, and this is my last cutting. Get it in the rooting compound. Get as much on there as I can. Already got a hole. Just pushing it in here. This one here, I think all of them are too long. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut these. Go ahead and cut my bottle tops off. I had these hinged on. Now I can just go ahead and take this long leaf right here off. And then I can put this like this, and that is going to help to make a little greenhouse. It's going to keep these cuttings moist. And all of a sudden it has gotten windy out here. It is intact, and now I just got my little greenhouse right there. Just cut this, not having it be that long. Just need these cuttings to root, so it's not like I need a really long stem on here. I'm gonna sit these in a kind of shaded spot so that they can go ahead and take root. I don't want them in the full sun because that would help them to dry out even faster. I clean my pruners because now it's time to go back here and cut a scion and cut the root stock so that we can try to graft them together. Okay, now I'm over here at the peach tree that I'm going to be using as a scion, and the wood that I'm going to be choosing is this wood right here. And it's more of a hard wood. I still want a pencil size piece of wood. So I'm going to take this piece of wood right here. And this is what I'm going to use for my scion. So I'm going to be removing this other wood. And I don't need a big piece. So I'm going to take, I'm going to remove these. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to take that up now. Might need to get another piece. I can't use this piece. I still can use this piece because you don't need a big piece. I'm going to take this piece. This is what I'm going to use for my scion. And I can tell that it looked like a graft was already done right there. Probably not, but this is what I'm going to use right here. Okay, one thing that you want to do is try to make sure that your wood on your scion and the wood from your root stock are the same size. So that is what I've done right here. Y'all remember, this is what I'm experimenting. I'm trying to learn how to do this. So I'm just bringing y'all along while I'm learning. And I can share with you what I have learned so far. And then for you all who are professionals at this, I don't mind constructive criticism. Okay, so this is the scion. I think it's important to remember which side was which, but as these are going up, this looks like I got this right. So what first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this ready. And the way I'm gonna get it ready, let's see if they're gonna be about the same. Yeah, they about the same. Well, I'm gonna get this ready is I'm gonna go ahead, and this is the way I chose to do it, and I just decided to do it this way because I've seen many of the different ways that you can do this. Okay, so now I got that cut like that. I just kind of took my knife and rocked it in here, get me a place to put this, and now I want to try to make sure I get it to about that depth. And I want to remove some of this. And what I'm doing is, I'm doing it like this. I've seen people do it all types of ways, but y'all, this way I choose to do it because I don't want to cut myself. And the way they be, sometimes I look and see somebody, they say don't whittle it, but this is going to be somewhat whittling because this is my first time. So, you know, it's best to try to get it on like your first try. You want to get this. Let's go back and get a little bit more off. See how I'm going to take a little bit more. And then now I am going to close this knife, put it up, and try to wiggle this in here. You want to get the bark on these to be together. Y'all look, I got it. I hope y'all can see this. It don't look perfect. It do not look perfect at all. Matter of fact, I might need to go some more. But it looks pretty good. I'm gonna do some more, y'all. I'm gonna do it some more. Cause I want the bark, I want to go down into my rootstock to where I have already cut it. And I just want the side bark. I want the side bark to meet up with the bark on here. And these are my cambium. I want to get those cambiums together. Y'all see that? And they always want them to stay. Do y'all see it is staying? Y'all, this might not, but y'all, I am feeling confident about this right now. And the reason why I'm wanting to do this, y'all, is because I want to grow as many fruit trees as I can. And y'all, these fruit trees are getting to be expensive. So this is a way that you can make more fruit trees. If I had almost decided to go ahead and cut this tree and just, you know, call it a loss. To dig it out. Matter of fact, I did one. I did several. I have did several of these trees that have died back to the rootstock. I did not have to do that. I could have taken I could have taken a scion from another fruit tree. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this though. I could have taken another scion from another fruit tree and put it onto this rootstock, and I could have had other trees. The trees that I sent to the trash could have been growing food for me right now. I should have already got this tape started, because you wanted this process, you want it to be a pretty quick process, because you don't want to leave this hanging. You want to go ahead and get this wrapped. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this wrapped, because I don't want any extra moisture. I want to protect this wound. I want to go ahead and get this wound protected. I'm gonna wrap it good so that it's not raining in here. I guess the best thing for me to do is to go ahead and tear a piece. I'm gonna put this in my pocket. I'm gonna put this on kind of tight. You want to have it where there is not going to be a lot of moisture getting in. Y'all, we expecting some rain today. So since we already got this taken care of, I got this some stuff that I see you put on here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on mine also, and let's get that on. This is the tree wound dressing. I don't know whether to dip this in here. I think I'm going to dip this in here. I didn't want to mess up my brush. Okay, this is the dressing to put on there. You can put it on the end right here, and that's gonna take care of that. That's gonna keep that protected, because you got that open wound right there. And then I also can go ahead and put it around this area so that it won't be able to get any water in it. I can put a little bit around the bottom. I'll just put it around the tape. And then once I see that this is looking good, I'll come back and I'll take it off. And so we're gonna check on it in about 2 weeks to see if we can remove this Band-Aid. It's probably not a Band-Aid. But we're going to check and see if we can remove this in a couple weeks. Y'all, I'm excited. I'm so excited. This is my first graft. If it's successful, y'all, I don't know what I'll do out here. I'll be so happy because I can make my own fruit trees. So y'all, let's try to go ahead, start if you can, go ahead and start practicing on cutting your scion, finding your root stock for your trees. I think I need to remove this one. I think I need to go ahead and cut this one back, so that this plant is not concentrating on doing anything above this root, this graft union right here. All things gonna be coming from the bottom, which is the root stock, and I can go ahead and get rid of this dead wood. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this video today, that you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.